Imagine waking up tomorrow and making one of the strangest choices ever. From this day forward, you'll only drink coffee. No water, no soda, no juice, not even tea, just cup after cup of coffee. For some die-hard coffee lovers, that might sound like heaven, but what would really happen if coffee became your only drink? Would you survive? Would you thrive? Or would your body eventually shut down under the constant flood of caffeine and acidity? Let's break it down step by step. Now, at first, things wouldn't seem too bad. Coffee is about 98% water, so in the short term, you'd still be hydrating yourself. You'd probably feel extra energetic, more alert, and even in a better mood. In fact, those first few mornings might feel amazing, like you've unlocked a cheat code for productivity. But also, immediately, your body would start showing signs of stress. Coffee is a diuretic, which means it makes you pee more often. Every cup you drink is also speeding up how quickly your body loses fluid. So even though you're technically drinking water through coffee, you're losing it just as fast, if not faster. Within days, mild dehydration would start to creep in. Headaches, dizziness, fatigue, and that constant dry mouth feeling would start to kick in too. After a week, your body would definitely be feeling it. The constant acid in coffee will begin irritating your stomach lining, leading to heartburn, acid reflux, or even nausea. Some people are more sensitive to acidity than some others, but for almost everybody, drinking coffee non-stop would cause digestive issues. And then your heart will also be under pressure. Caffeine stimulates the nervous system, so your heart rate and blood pressure would rise, which might feel like excitement or energy, but it's actually stress on your cardiovascular system. Combine that with the growing dehydration, and you start to feel jittery, restless, and probably even anxious. And sleep? Well, forget about it. Even if you somehow fell asleep, coffee blocks adenosine, the chemical in your brain that makes you feel tired. This means you would miss out on deep restorative sleep, and you wake up groggy, but instead of water, you drink more coffee, pushing yourself deeper into that cycle. After your first around 30 days, the problem will be impossible to ignore. Your body will now be in a constant state of dehydration, and dehydration isn't just thirst, it actually affects everything. Eventually, your skin would dry out and wrinkle faster, and your kidneys will be working overtime to filter your blood, which means your muscle would cramp more often. This will mean that you would start to feel weaker. And like I said, it affects everything. Your bones would also suffer. Coffee increases calcium loss through urine, and without a balanced diet and proper hydration, this could weaken your bone over time, increasing the risk of osteoporosis. And then there's nutrition. By only drinking coffee, you're cutting out vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes your body needs. And without those, your immune system weakens, and you get sick more easily, recover slowly from those sickness, and probably feel chronically fatigued despite all the caffeine. Well, let's speed up. What if you jump forward, and what if you somehow kept this up for years? The long-term consequences would be severe, right? Well, your kidneys, overworked from dehydration and constant caffeine, will be at risk of kidney stones or even kidney failure. Your heart might develop arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats, which could be very, very dangerous, and your mental health would eventually start to decline. Caffeine dependence would trap you in a constant cycle of highs and crashes. Anxiety, irritability, and even depression would start to creep in. Combined with years of poor sleep, your brain function would slow down, and you would start to forget things more often, have trouble focusing, and even feel burnt out. And so eventually, the damage will be too much. Survival on coffee alone is technically possible for a short time, but over the long-term future, it would shorten your lifespan dramatically. Now, don't get me wrong, coffee itself isn't evil. In fact, in moderation, coffee can be surprisingly good for you. 2 or 3 cups a day have been linked to lower risk of Parkinson's, type 2 diabetes, and even some forms of cancer. Coffee is also full of antioxidant, which protects your cells from damage. And of course, it boosts focus, reaction time, and even athletic performances. But the key word here is moderation. Coffee can be a powerful tool, but it was never meant to replace water or a balanced diet. Too much of this good thing turns into a bad thing very, very quickly. In fact, the lethal dose of caffeine for an average adult is estimated to be around 10 grams, which is about 100 cups of coffee in a short time. Drinking only coffee daily puts you dangerously close to caffeine overdose if you're not careful. And here's a cultural twist. In places like Finland and Sweden, coffee consumption per person is already sky high. If anyone could survive longest on only coffee, it might be them. But even to them, water and other drinks are still essential. To really imagine this scenario, let's put this in a single coffee-only day, step by step. So in the morning, you wake up groggy from poor sleep, but you chug a big mug of coffee. For an hour or two, you feel alert, almost unstoppable. And then, in the midday, dehydration sets in. Your mouth is dry, your hands shake, and your stomach feels sour. You drink more coffee to fix it. And in the afternoon, your heart will begin to race, your anxiety climbs, and your productivity drops. You crash, then climb again with another cup of coffee. And in the evening, you want to relax, but your system is overloaded with caffeine, and your body is tired, but your mind won't shut down. And finally, in the night, you toss and turn in bed, restless and dehydrated. Tomorrow, you'll repeat the same cycle again. And that's the loop. Exhaustion, caffeine, jitters, and repeats, but it's only just in one day. So imagine this for an entire life. In fact, the Guinness World Record for the most coffee consumed in a day is only 157 cups. This record was set by a man who drank 157 8-ounce cups of coffee in 6 hours and 20 minutes. While this is an impressive feat of caffeine consumption, it's important to note that consuming such a large amount of caffeine is not recommended and can be very dangerous, and that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration says that most adults can only safely drink up to 400 milligrams of caffeine per day, which is roughly equivalent to 2 to 3 12-ounce cups of coffee. So what if you only drank coffee for the rest of your life? Well, at first, it might feel like superhuman energy, but quickly your body would start to break down. Dehydration, stomach problems, poor sleep, weak bones, and nutritional deficiencies. In the long run, your kidneys, heart, and brain would all suffer, and your lifespan would almost certainly be shorter. Now, coffee is a great companion, but it was never meant to be the only one. Humans will desperately need water, nutrients, and balance in this situation. And coffee will certainly boost you in your daily life, but it can not sustain you. So if somebody offers you 100 million to drink coffee for the rest of your life, say no. Tell us your thoughts in the comments, share your own coffee habits or stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on the No Brainer for science, history, and philosophy, and check out our Instagram and X for more content.